During a simple hike, a group of teenagers finds a battered dog on the side of a highway. They notice the animal is behaving worryingly. While rescuing the poor animal, they discover something cruel. Enraged, they decide to go after the person responsible for this. But this journey for justice won't be easy. The sun beats down on the shimmering asphalt of Interstate 95, just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. It's a quintessential New England summer day, the kind that beckons adventure and promises memories. The air is thick with the scent of pine and wildflowers, a stark contrast to the occasional whiff of gasoline from passing cars. Along the grassy shoulder of the highway, a group of 5 teenagers trek with backpacks slung over their shoulders. Their laughter carries on the warm breeze, a melody of youthful exuberance. Leading the pack is Sarah, her auburn hair tied back in a messy ponytail, freckles dancing across her sun-kissed nose. Behind her, twins Jack and Emma playfully jostle each other, their matching blonde hair glinting in the sunlight. Bringing up the rear are best friends Michael and Olivia, engrossed in animated conversation. The group moves with the carefree rhythm of those momentarily unshackled from the pressures of high school life. Their sneakers crush the wild grass beneath them, creating a satisfying crunch with each step. Occasionally, they pause to sip water from their bottles or to snap photos of the picturesque landscape with their smartphones. As they round a gentle curve in the highway, the sprawling cityscape of Boston comes into view in the distance. The towering skyscrapers shimmer like a mirage, a stark juxtaposition to the natural beauty surrounding them. The teens point excitedly, their chatter increasing as they discuss their plans for the day ahead. Little do they know that just around the next bend, an encounter awaits that will change the course of their summer and their lives forever. The air seems to still, as if nature itself is holding its breath in anticipation of what's to come. Pudeji. As the group of friends continues their journey, their individual personalities begin to shine through. Sarah, the natural leader at 17, exudes confidence with every step. Her green eyes sparkle with determination, a trait that's made her the captain of the debate team at Lexington High School. She's the one who suggested this adventurous hike, always eager to push boundaries and create lasting memories. Jack and Emma, the 16-year-old twins, are a study in contrasts despite their identical blonde hair and blue eyes. Jack is the jokester of the group, his wit as quick as his reflexes on the basketball court. He keeps the mood light with his constant stream of puns and dad jokes. Emma, on the other hand, is the quiet observer. Her sketchbook is never far from reach, always ready to capture the beauty around her with her talented artist's hand. Michael, also 17, is the tech whiz of the group. His fingers are constantly tapping away at his smartphone, updating their journey on social media or researching interesting facts about their surroundings. His dark, curly hair and warm brown eyes give him a thoughtful appearance, matching his inquisitive nature. Olivia, the youngest at 15, is the group's heart. Her infectious laugh and genuine care for others make her a favorite among her peers. She's always the first to offer a listening ear or a comforting hug. Her long black hair sways as she walks, her kind eyes always scanning the horizon for new wonders to discover. As they walk, the dynamics between the friends become more apparent. Sarah and Michael often fall into deep discussions about current events and technology, their words punctuated by passionate hand gestures. Their intellectual connection is obvious, though neither has admitted to any romantic feelings. Jack's jokes keep the group's energy high, but it's Emma who notices the subtle changes in their surroundings. Her artist's eye catches the way the light shifts through the trees and how the distant cityscape appears to change as they move. She occasionally stops to make quick sketches, much to the amusement and admiration of her friend. Olivia flits between all members of the group, ensuring everyone feels included. She has a knack for sensing when someone needs encouragement or a moment of quiet companionship. Her nurturing nature extends beyond her human friends. She's often the first to spot small animals along their path, cooing softly at squirrels and birds. Despite their differences, there's an undeniable bond between these 5 teenagers. They've known each other since elementary school, growing up in the same neighborhood in Lexington. Their shared experiences have created a foundation of trust and understanding that's evident in their easy banter and comfortable silences. As they continue their trek, the conversation turns to their hopes and dreams for the future. College applications, career aspirations, and the bittersweet realization that their time together might soon be limited all weave through their chat. Little do they know that the adventure awaiting them will test their friendship and change their perspectives in ways they never imagined. As the group rounds another bend in the highway, Olivia suddenly stops in her tracks. Her eyes widen, fixed on a point just ahead. "Guys, look!" she exclaims, her voice a mix of concern and urgency. There, huddled against the guardrail, is a dog. Its fur, a matted mix of brown and white, is caked with dirt and debris. The animal's head is lowered, and its body language speaks of exhaustion and defeat. As the teenagers approach cautiously, they notice the dog doesn't react to their footsteps. Sarah, ever the leader, steps forward slowly. "Hey there, buddy," she calls softly. The dog's ears twitch, but its gaze remains unfocused. It's then that the group realizes something is terribly wrong. The realization hits them all at once. This dog, clearly abandoned and in distress, is blind. The carefree atmosphere of their hike evaporates instantly, replaced by a shared determination to help this helpless creature. The discovery of the blind dog sets off a whirlwind of emotions and actions among the group of friends. Each teenager's reaction reveals deeper aspects of their personality and the dynamics of their friendship. Sarah, true to her leadership role, immediately takes charge of the situation. Her debate team skills come to the forefront as she rapidly outlines a plan to help the dog. "Okay, we need to get him to safety. Jack, call your mom. She's a vet tech, right? Ask if we can bring him to her clinic." Her green eyes shine with determination, masking the uncertainty she feels inside about handling such a delicate situation. RTT. Jack, usually quick with a joke, becomes uncharacteristically serious. He nods at Sarah's instruction, his hands slightly shaking as he dials his mother's number. For once, his wit fails him as he struggles to explain the situation coherently over the phone. This moment of vulnerability shows a side of Jack that his friends rarely see, a young man deeply affected by the suffering of others. Emma, typically the quiet observer, surprises everyone by being the first to approach the dog. With gentle movements and soothing words, she slowly gains the animal's trust. Her artistic sensitivity translates into an intuitive understanding of the dog's need for calm and reassurance. As she carefully strokes its matted fur, tears glisten in her eyes, but her voice remains steady and comforting. Michael's tech-savvy nature finds a purpose beyond social media updates. He quickly researches the best ways to handle and transport an injured blind dog. His usual confident demeanor is tinged with worry as he shares the information with his friends. "We need to be really careful. Any sudden movements or loud noises could scare him," he advises, his fingers flying over his phone screen as he continues to search for more helpful tips. Olivia's nurturing instincts kick into high gear. She pulls out a water bottle and a small container of trail mix from her backpack. "He must be so thirsty and hungry," she murmurs, her voice thick with empathy. With Emma's help, she manages to offer some water to the dog, her heart swelling as the animal laps it up gratefully. As the group rallies around the dog, their individual strengths and vulnerabilities become more pronounced, deepening their bonds and challenging their perspectives. Sarah's leadership is tested as she grapples with the weight of responsibility. Her usual confidence wavers momentarily when she realizes the complexity of the situation. "What if we're not doing enough? What if we make things worse?" she confides to Michael in a rare moment of self-doubt. This vulnerability allows Michael to step up, offering reassurance and demonstrating the strength of their friendship. Jack, having composed himself after the phone call, channels his nervous energy into problem-solving. He suggests using his t-shirt as a makeshift carrier for the dog. As he takes off his shirt, revealing a lean frame from basketball practice, Emma notices a scar on his back, a reminder of a childhood accident he rarely speaks about. This shared moment of unspoken understanding deepens the twins' connection beyond their usual playful banter. Emma's quiet strength shines as she continues to comfort the dog. Her sketchbook lies open nearby, a half-finished drawing of the scene capturing the raw emotion of the moment. Through her art, Emma processes the intense feelings swirling within her, providing a visual narrative of their unexpected adventure. Michael's research takes on a more personal note as he begins to investigate animal cruelty laws and local shelters. His tech-savvy exterior gives way to a passionate advocate for animal rights. "We can't let this happen to other dogs," he declares, a new fire burning in his eyes. This shift in focus reveals a depth to Michael that surprises and impresses his friends. Olivia, while maintaining her nurturing role, also shows unexpected pragmatism. She starts to plan for the dog's immediate needs, listing supplies they'll require and considering potential challenges. "We need to think about where he'll stay tonight," she muses, her brow furrowed in concentration. This practical side of Olivia complements her emotional intelligence, showcasing her growth and maturity. As they work together to help the dog, the teenagers discover new facets of themselves and each other. Their shared purpose strengthens their friendship, creating a bond that goes beyond their usual high school camaraderie. In facing this unexpected challenge, they begin to see themselves not just as students or teenagers, but as capable young adults ready to make a difference in the world. As the initial shock of finding the blind dog wears off, the group faces a series of challenges that test their resolve and resourcefulness. Jack's mother, Dr. Anderson, arrives in her SUV, having closed her veterinary clinic early to help. Her presence brings both relief and a new set of concerns. "This is a delicate situation," she explains, her professional demeanor tinged with worry. "The dog is clearly traumatized. Moving him incorrectly could cause more harm than good." As Dr. Anderson assesses the situation, another challenge emerges. The summer heat is intensifying, and the asphalt is becoming dangerously hot for the dog's paws. Time is of the essence, but rushing could spook the already frightened animal. The teenagers and Dr. Anderson must find a way to create shade and cool the ground while they work on gaining the dog's trust. Michael, always thinking ahead, raises another concern. "What about legalities?" he asks, looking up from his phone. "We can't just take someone's dog, even if it looks abandoned." This introduces a moral dilemma that the group hadn't considered. They want to help, but they also need to ensure they're not breaking any laws in the process. As they grapple with these issues, a new problem arises. The noise and activity have caught the attention of a state trooper, who pulls over to investigate. Officer Johnson approaches with a stern expression, asking what's going on. The teenagers, already stressed from the situation, now face the challenge of explaining their actions to an authority figure. Olivia steps forward, her usual cheerfulness replaced by earnest concern. She manages to convey the situation to Officer Johnson, her sincerity evident in every word. The officer listens, but remains skeptical. "This is a dangerous spot for you all to be gathered," he states, "and interfering with what could be someone's pet is a serious matter." The group now faces a race against time. They need to convince Officer Johnson of the urgency of the situation, figure out how to safely move the dog, and address the legal concerns, all while ensuring the animal's well-being in the scorching heat. Sarah, feeling the weight of leadership, takes a deep breath. She knows that how they handle the next few minutes could determine not just the dog's fate, but potentially their own as well. The carefree hike they had planned has turned into a complex rescue mission, challenging them in ways they never expected. As the situation intensifies, new challenges emerge, pushing the group to their limits. Dr. Anderson agrees but warns, we need to be extremely careful. Blind dogs can be easily startled by unexpected touches. She instructs the teens on how to approach the dog using verbal cues and gentle touches. However, when Jack attempts to lift the dog, it yelps in pain, revealing another hidden injury. This new development adds urgency to their rescue efforts, but also complicates the process. Dr. Anderson needs to perform a quick field assessment to ensure they don't exacerbate any injuries during transport. The teens watch anxiously as she gently examines the dog, their hearts sinking when she announces, "I suspect he has a fractured rib. We need to stabilize him before we move him." Time is ticking, and the heat is becoming unbearable. Olivia, usually the most composed, starts to show signs of heat exhaustion. Emma notices her friend's flushed face and slight disorientation, adding another layer of concern to their already stressful situation. Meanwhile, Michael's continued research uncovers a local news story about a missing blind dog that matches their rescue's description. The report includes details about the dog's neglectful owner, who is now wanted for animal cruelty charges. This information presents a moral quandary. Should they contact the authorities about finding the dog, potentially risking its return to an abusive situation, or take matters into their own hands? As they debate their next move, a small crowd of curious onlookers begins to gather, complicating their efforts to keep the dog calm. Some bystanders start filming with their phones, adding to the group's anxiety about the legality and public perception of their actions. The mounting pressure takes its toll on the friends. Jack and Emma have a rare argument when Jack suggests they should let animal control handle the situation. Emma, feeling a deep connection with the dog, vehemently disagrees. Their squabble threatens the group's unity at a critical moment. Sarah, seeing her friends starting to fracture under the stress, realizes she needs to rally them. But as she opens her mouth to speak, she's cut off by a loud clap of thunder. The clear sky has given way to rapidly approaching storm clouds, presenting yet another threat to their rescue mission. With the injured blind dog still on the roadside, a brewing storm, legal uncertainties and rising tensions within the group, the teenagers face their greatest challenge yet. They must find a way to overcome these obstacles, working together to save not just the dog, but also their friendship and their belief in their ability to make a difference. The next steps they take will not only determine the fate of the dog, but also test the strength of their character and the bonds of their friendship in ways they never imagined. Sarah, recognizing the need for decisive leadership, takes a deep breath and addresses her friends. "Okay, team, we need to focus. We've come too far to give up now." Her words, delivered with a mix of determination and compassion, help to center the group. She quickly delegates tasks, playing to each person's strengths. Michael, putting his research skills to use, approaches Officer Johnson with the information he's gathered about the dog's possible identity and the suspected animal cruelty case. His articulate explanation and evident concern impress the officer, who agrees to contact the local animal control for guidance while allowing the teens to continue their rescue efforts under his supervision. Dr. Anderson, working swiftly but gently, creates a makeshift splint for the dog's ribcage using first aid supplies from her vehicle. She instructs Jack and Emma on how to assist her, turning the moment into an impromptu veterinary lesson. The twins, setting aside their earlier disagreement, work in perfect sync, their shared goal overcoming their previous tension. Olivia, despite her own discomfort from the heat, focuses on the dog's hydration. She cleverly fashions a small water bowl from a plastic bag in her backpack, allowing them to offer the dog small, manageable sips of water. Her gentle demeanor seems to calm the animal, who begins to respond positively to her soft words of encouragement. As the storm approaches, Emma's artistic skills find an unexpected application. Using a large umbrella from Dr. Anderson's car and some spare clothing, she quickly constructs a makeshift shelter to protect the dog from the impending rain. Her creative solution draws admiring glances from her friends, boosting morale. The bystanders, initially a source of stress, become unexpected allies. Sarah, overcoming her initial reluctance to engage with the crowd, politely asks for their help in forming a human shield against the wind and noise. Many onlookers, moved by the teens' dedication, readily agree to assist. As raindrops begin to fall, the group's coordinated efforts start to bear fruit. The dog, though still wary, seems to sense their good intentions and gradually relaxes under their care. This small victory energizes the teens, reinforcing their commitment to seeing the rescue through, despite the worsening weather. Jack, drawing on his experience as a lifeguard, suggests creating a human chain to safely move the dog to Dr. Anderson's vehicle. He organizes the volunteers and his friends into a line, ensuring a smooth and secure transfer. His quick thinking and leadership in this moment reveal a maturity that surprises even his twin sister. Emma, noticing the dog's anxiety increasing with the thunder, recalls a technique she learned for calming nervous animals. She begins to hum softly, a soothing melody that seems to cut through the chaos. To everyone's amazement, the dog's tense muscles start to relax, making the transfer easier. Michael, ever the problem solver, uses his phone to coordinate with local animal shelters and rescue organizations. His persistence pays off when he secures a promise from a nearby no-kill shelter to take the dog in temporarily. This news lifts a weight off everyone's shoulders, knowing they have a safe destination for their rescue. Olivia, despite her earlier heat exhaustion, finds a second wind. She climbs into the back of Dr. Anderson's SUV, creating a comfortable space for the dog using blankets and towels. Her nurturing instincts shine as she prepares for the dog's arrival, ensuring he'll have a safe, warm place for the journey. Sarah, realizing the legal complexities of their situation, takes a bold step. She asks Officer Johnson if he would be willing to escort them to the animal shelter, providing an official presence that could help navigate any potential issues. Her diplomatic approach impresses the officer, who agrees to her request. As they finally manage to get the dog safely into the vehicle, a palpable sense of relief washes over the group. However, their actions have set in motion events that will continue to challenge and change them. The rain, now falling heavily, seems to mark a transition from a group of carefree teens to young adults who've taken on a significant responsibility. Dr. Anderson, watching the teens work together, can't help but comment, "You've all shown extraordinary compassion and resourcefulness today. This dog is lucky you found him." The journey to the animal shelter becomes a race against time as the storm intensifies. Dr. Anderson's SUV, with Officer Johnson's patrol car as an escort, navigates through the increasingly treacherous weather. Inside the vehicle, the teens are cramped but focused, their attention divided between the injured dog and the turbulent world outside. As they approach the city limits of Boston, the true force of the storm becomes apparent. Streets are beginning to flood, and traffic is at a standstill. The wail of emergency sirens in the distance adds to the growing sense of urgency. Officer Johnson, his earlier skepticism replaced by genuine concern, radios for updates. The news isn't good. "Most roads ahead are flooded," he informs the group grimly. "They're advising everyone to seek immediate shelter." It's at this moment that Jack spots a sign through the rain-lashed windows. "Look!" he exclaims. "There's a veterinary hospital just a few blocks away." As they turn off the main road, disaster strikes. A massive tree limb crashes down, narrowly missing their vehicle but blocking the path to the veterinary hospital. The teens watch in horror as Officer Johnson's car, following close behind, swerves to avoid the debris and slides off the road, coming to rest in a ditch. "We can't stop here," she says, her professional calm straining. "The road could flood any minute. We need to get to higher ground." As if sensing the dire situation, the dog lets out a pained howl, a sound that cuts through the chaos of the storm and the turmoil of their emotions. In that haunting cry, the teens hear an echo of their own fears and desperation. Sarah looks at each of her friends, then at the suffering dog, and finally at the stranded police car in her rearview mirror. The next few moments will test not just their friendship, but their character and their very humanity. In the face of this seemingly impossible decision, Sarah takes a deep breath and makes a call that will define their journey. "We split up," she says, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. "Dr. Anderson, you and Olivia take the dog to the vet hospital. The rest of us will help Officer Johnson." The group springs into action, their earlier teamwork now honed by urgency and high stakes. As Dr. Anderson and Olivia carefully maneuver the SUV around the fallen tree limb, the others pile out into the storm, the rain lashing at their faces as they rush towards the stranded police car. Officer Johnson is dazed but conscious, trapped by his seatbelt and the airbag. The teens work in unison, with Michael guiding them through the safest way to extract someone from a crashed vehicle, knowledge he'd picked up during his late-night research binges. Jack and Emma, their twin bond stronger than ever in this crisis, work together to pry open the jammed door. Meanwhile, at the veterinary hospital, Dr. Anderson and Olivia face their own set of challenges. The clinic is understaffed due to the storm, and the power is fluctuating. The on-duty vet, Dr. Patel, looks overwhelmed as they burst in with the injured dog. "This dog has been through too much for us to give up now," she insists, her eyes blazing with a mix of tears and resolve. Her impassioned plea moves Dr. Patel, who nods and begins prepping for emergency surgery. Back at the crash site, the teens finally manage to free Officer Johnson, but as they help him to his feet, a new sound cuts through the howling wind, the ominous creaking of the weakening trees around them. They realize with horror that they're now trapped, with fallen trees blocking both ends of the road and the water rising rapidly around them. Sarah, her leadership tested like never before, tries to keep everyone calm while searching for a way out. It's Emma who spots a potential escape route, a narrow gap between two buildings that might lead to higher ground. But it's a risky path, strewn with debris and swift-moving water. At the hospital, the surgery is underway, but complications arise. The dog's injuries are more severe than initially thought, and the flickering power threatens to cut out at any moment. Dr. Anderson and Olivia work alongside Dr. Patel, their every move a battle against time and the elements. As the storm reaches its peak, both groups face their ultimate test. At the crash site, the teens must navigate treacherous waters and flying debris to reach safety, all while supporting the injured Officer Johnson. At the hospital, the medical team fights to save the dog's life as the power grows more unreliable with each passing second. In these parallel struggles, each teen is pushed to their limit, forced to dig deep and find reserves of strength, courage, and compassion they never knew they possessed. The bond between them, forged in the fire of this ordeal, grows stronger with each challenge overcome. As lightning illuminates the sky and thunder shakes the ground, the fate of both the dog and the teens hangs in the balance. The climax of their adventure teeters on a knife's edge, with every action carrying the weight of life-changing consequences. At the veterinary hospital, just as Dr. Patel is about to make a crucial incision, the power fails completely. The backup generator sputters to life, but provides only dim emergency lighting. In this moment of crisis, Olivia has a sudden realization. She remembers a documentary about sensory-deprived animals developing heightened other senses. "Wait!" she cries out. "The dog's blindness, what if it's not from abuse but a rare condition that's actually helping him now?" Her intuition proves correct, as Dr. Anderson quickly confirms that the dog's other senses, particularly hearing and smell, are extraordinarily acute. This revelation changes their approach to treatment, allowing them to work more effectively even in the low light. Meanwhile, as Sarah leads the group through the treacherous alleyway, they stumble upon an unexpected sanctuary. Hidden behind a nondescript door is a local community center converted into an emergency shelter for the storm. Inside, they find not only safety, but also a diverse group of stranded locals, each with their own story and skills. Among the shelter's occupants is a retired veterinarian, Dr. Green, who offers to help once he hears about the dog at the hospital. However, the roads are still impassable. It's then that Michael, always thinking outside the box, spots a solution. A small drone belonging to a hobbyist taking shelter in the center. As they begin to formulate this daring plan, Officer Johnson, now recovered enough to speak, shares a startling piece of information. "That dog you rescued," he says, his voice filled with awe. "I think it might be a local legend, a service animal that went missing months ago after saving its owner from a house fire." This revelation stuns the group, adding a new layer of significance to their rescue efforts and connecting their current struggle to a larger, more poignant story of heroism and loyalty. Emma, her artistic eye catching details others might miss, notices something on the drone's camera feed as they test it. "Look at that marking on the dog's ear," she points out. "It looks like a small tattoo, maybe an identification number." Michael quickly cross-references the number with online databases and makes a shocking discovery. "Guys, this dog isn't just any service animal. It's Beacon, the famous rescue dog that saved over a dozen lives in various disasters. He went missing after that big fire in Somerville last winter." This news spreads through the shelter, touching the hearts of everyone present. Among the stranded locals, an elderly man steps forward, tears in his eyes. "Beacon saved my granddaughter in that fire," he reveals, his voice choked with emotion. "We've been searching for him ever since." As the group prepares to launch the drone with its precious cargo of medical supplies, they realize their rescue mission has become something far greater. They're not just saving a dog, they're reuniting a hero with a community that loves him. Just as the situation seems most dire, they hear a faint buzzing over the storm. The drone appears at the window, guided by Sarah's steady hand back at the shelter, with Jack providing real-time weather updates to navigate the treacherous winds. As Olivia helps retrieve the supplies, she notices something else attached to the drone, a note from the elderly man at the shelter, addressed to Beacon. The message of love and gratitude brings tears to her eyes, underscoring the profound impact of their actions. With the new supplies and the emotional boost from the community's support, the medical team redoubles their efforts. The surgery reaches a critical point, and everyone holds their breath, acutely aware that the fate of a canine hero hangs in the balance. As dawn breaks, the storm finally begins to subside, revealing a transformed landscape and equally transformed group of young heroes. At the veterinary hospital, after hours of intense effort, Dr. Anderson and Dr. Patel emerge from surgery, exhausted but triumphant. "Beacon is going to make it," Dr. Anderson announces to an anxious Olivia. "It was touch and go for a while, but his will to live is extraordinary." Olivia's tears of relief mirror the sentiment felt by all involved in this remarkable rescue. Officer Johnson, now recovered, approaches the group. "What you've done here is nothing short of miraculous," he says, his earlier skepticism replaced by genuine admiration. "You've not only saved a life, but brought hope to an entire community." The story of Beacon's rescue spreads rapidly, capturing the attention of local media. Reporters gather outside the veterinary hospital, eager to interview the young heroes who braved the storm to save a canine legend. Ndaidu. As the city begins its recovery, the impact of the teens' actions continues to ripple outward. The local animal shelter, inspired by their bravery, launches a campaign to find homes for animals displaced by the storm. Sarah and her friends are invited to be the face of this initiative, using their newfound platform to advocate for animal welfare. Beacon's original owner, an elderly veteran named Mr. Thompson, is located and reunited with his heroic companion. The emotional meeting takes place at the veterinary hospital, where Mr. Thompson, leaning on his cane, kneels to embrace Beacon. The dog, despite his injuries, responds with unmistakable joy, his tail wagging furiously. "I never lost hope," Mr. Thompson says, his voice thick with emotion, "but I never expected a miracle like this." He turns to the teens, gratitude shining in his eyes. "You've given me back my best friend and my reason for living." This reunion serves as a powerful resolution to the central conflict, highlighting the far-reaching consequences of the teens' compassionate actions. It also brings closure to Beacon's mysterious disappearance, as Mr. Thompson explains how the dog had gotten disoriented and lost during a thunderstorm months ago. The veterinary hospital, recognizing the extraordinary circumstances of Beacon's rescue, offers to cover the costs of his treatment. This generous act inspires a community fundraiser to help Mr. Thompson with Beacon's ongoing care and to support other pet owners facing financial hardships. As the teens witness the positive changes stemming from their adventure, they begin to see how a single act of kindness can transform not just one life, but an entire community. This realization marks a profound shift in their perspectives and ambitions for the future. Sarah, always the natural leader, finds her confidence bolstered in unexpected ways. The experience of guiding her friends through life-threatening situations has given her a new perspective on leadership. "I always thought being a leader meant having all the answers," she confides to her friends. "But now I understand it's about trusting others and making tough decisions together." This realization influences her decision to pursue a career in emergency management, where she can use her skills to help communities in crisis. For Jack, the class clown, the ordeal reveals a depth of character he didn't know he possessed. His quick thinking and courage during the rescue have shown him the value of taking life seriously when it matters most. "I never thought I'd say this," he admits with a wry smile, "but I think I want to study veterinary medicine. Maybe I can't tell jokes in the operating room, but I can still bring joy to animals and their owners." Emma, typically quiet and reserved, discovers her voice through this experience. Her artistic sensitivity, once confined to her sketchbook, now finds expression in advocating for animal rights. She decides to combine her love for art with her newfound passion, planning a series of portraits featuring rescue animals to raise awareness for local shelters. Michael's tech-savvy nature, which once seemed to isolate him from others, becomes a powerful tool for connecting people and resources. He starts developing an app to coordinate volunteer efforts during emergencies, inspired by their impromptu drone delivery system. Olivia, whose nurturing instincts played a crucial role in Beacon's survival, finds her empathy deepened and her career path clarified. She decides to pursue a future in animal-assisted therapy, recognizing the powerful healing bond between humans and animals. "Seeing how Beacon touched so many lives made me realize that animals can help heal people in ways we can't even imagine," she says, her eyes bright with purpose. The experience also transforms the dynamics within the group. Their friendship, once based on shared classes and neighborhood proximity, evolves into a deep, unshakable bond forged through adversity. They find themselves confiding in each other more, supporting each other's new goals and dreams with unwavering enthusiasm. The impact extends beyond the teens to their families and the broader community. Parents who once saw their children as just kids now regard them with newfound respect and pride. The local school board invites them to speak about their experience, inspiring other students to engage in community service and animal welfare projects. Mr. Thompson and Beacon become regular visitors at local schools and community centers, sharing their story of separation, rescue, and reunion. The sight of the recovered Beacon, happily wagging his tail beside his grateful owner, serves as a living testament to the power of compassion and perseverance. For the teens, the emotional high of their adventure is tempered by a bittersweet realization. As they prepare for their final year of high school, they understand that their paths may soon diverge. However, they face this future not with fear, but with confidence, knowing that the strength they've discovered in themselves and each other will carry them through whatever challenges lie ahead. As summer draws to a close, the five friends gather at their favorite spot by the lake, the same place where they had planned their fateful hike months ago. The setting sun casts a warm glow over their faces, mirroring the warmth of their shared experiences and growth. "And to us," adds Jack, his usual joking tone replaced by sincerity, "for proving that ordinary kids can do extraordinary things when we work together." Olivia, always attuned to the group's emotions, speaks up. "You know, even though we're all heading in different directions after graduation, I feel like we're closer than ever." Michael, looking up from his phone, where he's been working on his volunteer coordination app, smiles. "We started this summer trying to escape our routine, but we ended up finding our purpose." As the sun dips below the horizon, the friends make a pact to use their newfound strengths to continue making a difference, both individually and as a team. They promise to meet here every year, no matter where life takes them, to celebrate their bond and renew their commitment to compassion and courage. The story ends with the image of the five friends silhouetted against the twilight sky, their laughter echoing across the lake. A testament to the enduring power of friendship, empathy, and the unexpected adventures that shape our lives. In the months following their extraordinary summer adventure, the impact of the teens' actions continues to resonate throughout their community and beyond. Beacon, now fully recovered, becomes a local celebrity, participating in charity events and school visits alongside Mr. Thompson. Their story of reunion and second chances inspires countless others to adopt rescue animals and support animal welfare causes. The five friends, entering their senior year of high school, find themselves changed in profound ways. Sarah's leadership skills earn her the position of student body president, while Jack's newfound passion leads him to volunteer at the local animal shelter. Emma's artwork featuring rescue animals gains attention from local galleries, and Michael's emergency coordination app receives funding for further development. Olivia starts a successful animal-assisted therapy program at the community center. Their story catches the attention of national media, leading to appearances on talk shows and even discussions about a possible documentary. However, for Sarah, Jack, Emma, Michael, and Olivia, the greatest reward remains the knowledge that their compassion and courage made a real difference in the world. As they look towards their futures, the friends carry with them the lessons learned during that fateful summer, the power of unity, the strength found in adversity, and the profound impact that acts of kindness can have on the lives of both humans and animals. 5 years later, at their annual lakeside reunion, the friends gather once again. As they share updates on their lives, Sarah's emergency management career, Jack's veterinary studies, Emma's successful art exhibitions, Michael's tech innovations, and Olivia's thriving therapy practice, they're joined by a special guest. Beacon, grey-muzzled but still spirited, wags his tail in greeting, a living reminder of the adventure that changed their lives forever. Indeed, to our viewers, Beacon's story reminds us that every animal deserves a chance at a happy life. Consider adopting from your local shelter or supporting animal welfare organizations. Remember, compassion has the power to transform not just one life, but an entire community. Share this video to spread the message of hope and inspire others to make a difference in the lives of animals in need.